Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. Billings police and school officials taking a threat of violence seriously.
This after a large fight broke out Tuesday near Billings Senior High. The brawl and those involved captured on camera.
And that video now sparking more reaction. Q2's Russ Riesinger is looking into the incident and is here with us tonight with more. Russ?
Well, extra resource officers were in place at a couple of locations after rumors of another fight possibly taking place today surfaced online. That fortunately did not happen, but the fight that took place yesterday disturbed one woman so much after she saw it online that she made her niece and nephew stay home from school today.
She got it sent to her, I believe, on Snapchat. That's where these kids have posted these videos, is on Snapchat and social media.
Shayna Rhodes says she couldn't believe what she saw when her niece showed her this video of the fight that was posted on Snapchat. The brawl broke out Tuesday near Billings Senior High School. As you can see, a number of students were involved. At one point, several of them can be seen punching and kicking a student on the ground.
I started crying. I can't believe that we have a generation that has no control. Because what it looked like to me is it looked like a mob of just kids losing it on one student.
Both police and the school superintendent say they don't know what led to the fight, but they are aware of the incident and also of rumors that surfaced online saying there could be more violence.
But there was rumors that she had heard there was going to be another fight today at the mall or at Pioneer Park, and possibly involving knives or guns. Either way, rumor or not, it's getting to be very scary and out of control. And I think parents need to sit down with their kids, their high schoolers, and say, look, this isn't going to get you anywhere in life.
Well, School Superintendent Greg Upham says that they are working with police to get to the bottom of what happened. And he says that some of those students involved could possibly face criminal charges.
Very disturbing. Thank you, Russ.
Wow, difficult video for anyone to watch. Thanks so much, Russ. Well, more thefts at a West End apartment complex now prompting an outcry from tenants and the property manager to further secure the building.
If you recall, last month an employee of the Happy Homes apartment complex out on Shiloh Road in King caught on video stealing prescription meds from an apartment using a master key to gain entry. Now the same family hit again by someone who broke into their garage. Billings police confirm multiple reports have been filed for similar crimes.
Ryan Crick says her family moved to the complex after her husband lost his leg and pelvis to cancer. This is one of a few disability accessible complexes, but now she doesn't feel safe.
And so for us, we want to take an active stand because we believe that there are a lot of things that this management team could do to become more of a team member.
And we did have a chance to speak to the general manager out at Happy Homes, who says since the initial reports, the employee has been fired and that charges are now pending.
He also says they've stepped up security by adding deadbolt locks to the units and are also looking into cameras and security guards. Still, the Crick family tells us they are actively looking for a new place to live, one that can accommodate a wheelchair.
On to the weather scene tonight. Bob McGuire, you know, Bob, it's just not fun for anyone out on the roads out there tonight. It is still very, very slick.
It took me about 20 minutes to drive home for dinner from just doing 2 miles. And it was about 2 miles an hour. It was really a long drive. Let me show you what we have there. Right now, though, the Doppler radar is starting to chill out. But take a look at the video. This is the way it looked on 4th Avenue today. It was just moving about 2 or 3 miles per hour. That's about all. Very slow. There's Interstate 90. And as you can see, traffic was doing a little bit better there. But, yeah, it was kind of a busy night. Let me show you how we're doing on the Doppler radar right now, though. Most of that stuff is starting to die down. And so, as you can see, it's just about finished with us. And so, as we move on, you can see there's another batch of snow over by Missoula. That eventually start making its way into the Billings area, possibly later on. But in the meantime, we still have a winter weather advisory until 11 o'clock tonight, basically due to icy roads. Could pick up maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow out of it. And then one other thing, look at how much snow we've had. Places like Livingston had 8 inches of snow. Other places like Nye had 4 inches of snow, and all the way down towards Roundup had 1.5 inches. Here in the Billings area, we had under 1 inch of snow tonight. We'll have more in your forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, the latest high-level aide to depart the White House. At the request of the president, he submitted his resignation today. CBS's Mola Lenghi reports from the White House.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions departed the Justice Department headquarters for a final time Wednesday evening. He was applauded by staff members as he exited.
Thank you all.
Earlier in the day, the Attorney General delivered a letter to the White House. It began, "Mr. President, at your request, I'm submitting my resignation." The president later tweeted, "We thank Attorney General Jeff Sessions for his service and wish him well." Mr. Trump announced that Matt Whitaker would serve as acting Attorney General. Whitaker, a former U.S. attorney, had been chief of staff under Sessions. A DOJ official says he'll oversee all department matters, including the investigation led by special counsel Robert Mueller. The departure of Jeff Sessions had long been expected, but Whitaker's appointment has raised questions about the thinking behind the shakeup.
It would create a constitutional crisis if this were a prelude to ending or greatly limiting the Mueller investigation.
Before joining the Trump administration, Whitaker had publicly criticized the special counsel's work. He once suggested pressuring Mueller by reducing his budget. Democratic Senator Mark Warner issued a statement saying, quote, "While the president may have the authority to replace the attorney general, this must not be the first step in an attempt to impede, obstruct, or end the Mueller investigation." Mo Lalengi, CBS News, the White House.
The Justice Department says Whitaker's oversight of the special counsel will be subject to review by federal ethics officials.
Election news now. Even at this late hour tonight, not all the Montana vote totals are in yet, but we can tell you the outcome in the Montana Senate race is decided. Senator Tester vying for his third term in this election, while State Auditor Matt Rosendale was hoping to ride the coattails of some of the highest names in the GOP. But it was late this morning. Senator Tester emerged with what is now close to a 15,000 vote lead to claim victory.
MTN Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison reports from Great Falls, where the Tester campaign spent a long, restless night.
Just before 11 a.m. on Wednesday, Senator John Tester appeared before a rowdy crowd of exhausted supporters and told them the good news.
Look, we did it.
The Associated Press had just called the race in Tester's favor, giving him a hard-fought victory over Republican Matt Rosendale and Libertarian Rick Breckenridge. Just like in his two previous victories in 2006 and 2012, it wasn't called until the day after Election Day, and he won with less than 50% of the vote, about 49.6% to be precise, over Rosendale's 47.5%, a 10,000 vote margin by late Wednesday. Rosendale took the lead briefly early Wednesday morning, but a rash of late counted votes from Democratic strongholds like Missoula and Bozeman put Tester over the top. In comments Wednesday, Tester said it was a tough race, but that now it's time to tone down the political differences.
We need to get some things done in Washington, D.C. We need to work together. We need to put aside the political pettiness and work together to get things done. And I will tell you why. Because if I has traversed this state, north, south, east, and west, the people I've talked to, the biggest issue they bring up is, why can't you guys work together? Right. Well, we can, and we will. And it will happen because the American people are demanding it.
Tester said tops on his agenda are fixing problems with health care, rural broadband access, and care for veterans. He also noted that President Trump came here 4 times to campaign against him, but that he'd like the president to come back again and take a good look at the problems facing the state that need to be fixed.
As I walk around, you know, there's Democrats, there's Republicans, Libertarians. We agree on a heck of a lot more than we disagree on. So find the areas you agree on and work on them.
This race had a lot of firsts for Montana, from 4 presidential visits to $60 million in campaign spending. But in the end, Tester's victory looked a lot like his first 2, eking out a victory with a great on-the-ground effort, some last-day voting, and the strength of his own personality. Reporting from Great Falls, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thanks, Mike.
And again, as of tonight, Tester's margin over Rosendale has grown to about 15,000 votes. Tester will remain in the Democratic minority in the Senate. Republicans actually increased their hold on the majority yesterday.
The race for a district judge seat here in Yellowstone County looks to be headed for a recount.
That's right. Billings lawyer Julie Pierce holds a very thin 59-vote lead over former federal attorney Ashley Harada. This is for Department 8 of the 13th District Court. Now, state election law states if a candidate is behind by less than 0.25%, they can request an automatic recount.
If the margin is more than 1/4% but less than 0.5%, the trailing candidate can request a recount at their own cost. Well, at this point, since the margin in the Pierce-Hirata race is 0.06%, it would qualify for a recount.
Last night's elections offered something for both sides to cheer about. Democrats took control of the House in Washington. Republicans solidified their hold on the Senate. But it's also set up a power struggle on Capitol Hill now that will likely play out over the next 2 years. Nicole Killian has more tonight from Capitol Hill.
Voters went to the polls in record numbers, which resulted in both parties claiming victory. Democrats won enough seats to retake control of the House of Representatives.
American people want to put an end to unchecked GOP control of Washington,
while Republicans expanded their hold in the Senate.
The American people have given us divided government, which they've given us most of the time since World War II. They seem to like divided government.
President Trump was said to be ecstatic while watching the results. He campaigned hard in many of the states where Republicans held on to their Senate seats.
We saw the candidates that I supported achieve tremendous success last night.
This morning, he tweeted, "Those that worked with me in this incredible midterm election, embracing certain policies and principles, did very well. Those that did not, say goodbye."
Mike Kaufman. Too bad, Mike. Mia Love gave me no love. And she lost.
Yesterday's vote means battle lines have been drawn as Democrats in the House have now won the power to issue subpoenas. That will likely breathe new life into the House investigation of collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians, and they're likely to go after the president's tax returns.
we have a constitutional responsibility to have oversight.
President Trump is vowing to fight back, saying two can play that game, and said Republicans could launch investigations into leaks of classified information. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The president today did tweet his support for Nancy Pelosi to be the next Speaker of the House, saying she's earned the honor, but he also added he hopes for more Republican votes now in the House.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, Montana is helping make beer and leaders. We will show you how they're hopping to it.
I get it, huh? And in sports coming up, Scott shows us what one Billings man is doing to help battle back against veteran suicide.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.